Pat, your turn.
Okay, this is a new one. Pat Grosse, I'm the community entrepreneur, and I am launching a book club mastermind. It's going to cost $25 a week. And the people I'm looking for are people who are looking for those tacit skills for strategy, marketing, and there was another one. Yes. So, yeah, okay, I'm looking for people looking to enhance their skills this year beyond networking. Thank you.
So welcome everyone. Every week at Business at Breakfast, one of the members gets the opportunity to share with themselves a little bit more about what it is that they do. They have up to 8 minutes to talk to us more about enlighten us with I don't know what I'm saying. Members can use the time to problem solve or seek assistance from the group or get advice as a collective, however they want to do it. I know, Pat, you were saying that you've got something new that you're doing this year, and I like the words that you used. It's the skills beyond networking. So Pat's down in Melbourne area, Victoria. She's down in Victoria, not exactly Melbourne. It's off to the side. More, I don't even know if it's Geelong.
Wangaratta.
Wangaratta. There you go. Right across. All right. So she's down the Wangaratta area of Victoria in Australia. She's been out, gosh, I've known Pat 4 years. Since I first started at HMP. I can't believe that's been 4 years already for HMP. And so we've been networking together for a long time. You've been over at Business at Breakfast for, I don't know, at least 3 of those. So it's been quite some time. So as the community entrepreneur and the grant writing expert and all that other jazz, why don't you tell us more about this new thing that you're also doing this year?
Okay, this is straight off the count of raw. Okay. It was a few months ago, actually. I was working with some other guys, and I sort of said to him, why don't we start a book club as such? Now, it's not about, just reading books and, talking about them over coffee. No, it's a bit more serious than that, it turned out. And so for Thursday nights, for the last 6 months, we were meeting, and what happened was, and it was actually everybody stayed, from beginning to end. So, and when I say beginning to end, I mean the whole time. So it must be working. So I had to think about it over Christmas, and then I've sort of rolled it out, extended it, and about to roll it out. And how it works is when you go to networking, you get, this is the time of year when you hear people going, oh, I've joined this network, I've been in this network now for a year, and I haven't got anything out of it. I mean, you've heard these people, haven't you? Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, so I was thinking, well, what is it? I mean, I've actually also got a presentation on networking and what's going on there, which I'm going to be running out in 2 hours with another network. But I was thinking, what is it that's the problem here? And I was thinking, actually, there's a lot of people. I'm sorry if you're a coach, I don't want to denigrate you, but there's coaches out there who say, well, get you to start up to 6 figures or 6 figures to 7 figures. And they're doing that work, but there's still that bit missing. That lack of understanding, lack of some of that knowledge, something as simple as the scarcity method, when people sort of say, you've got to buy this product within the next 15 minutes or else. I'm just giving that as an example. So we see that a lot, but do we understand where it's coming from? So one of the books we were reading was Cialdini's Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion, and scarcity is in there. So what we've been doing is we've been getting together, we've been going through these, and what's happening is, as people are meant to read and then come together, and then we go through that, and then in the next segment, this is where I develop the business tools. This is how it's going to work, the business tools to then embed that thinking in your own business. So the idea I'm looking at here, which is working, is that we're building that tacit memory, that muscle memory, because you're not just being told about it, you're reading it or listening, you're practicing. And I came out with the five stages of read, learn, practice, embed, and transform. So so this is so it got to the point where, okay, this is now ready. And what I want to do is to set up small groups, not large groups, but small groups, because we need to be able to trust each other and be able to dig down. So what we're saying here, it's a weekly professional development mastermind group for business owners looking for a different way to learn and embed new skills. It's a focus on practical skills, mindset, and strategy. And we're taking lessons from the masters, because it's not just about people, the gurus of today. We've got the gurus of yesteryear as well. All that history. I mean, there's nothing. Oh, we have said there's nothing new. So that's what we're doing. We're taking those messages from past and the present, and we're going through that learning process so that it becomes a long time tacit skill or tacit knowledge that you're going to take with you, or whoever's in the group takes with them through their business life. So it's that gap in skills and knowledge that we need to take time out to learn.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, Pat. Actually, that has me think. I was talking to the doggies this morning when I was walking. I love reading. I think everybody should be reading, but I actually don't believe in business world you shouldn't be reading heaps and heaps and heaps and heaps and heaps of books. Tops, 1 book a month, that's it. Pick 12 books over the course of the year, maximum. 6 is even better. 1 book, read it for a month, do what's in it. Do that 6 times and then go back to the first book, read it again. What did you miss? Do what's in it and go again. Like read and do.
But that's that's one way of doing it. But no, actually talking with other people, exploring the concepts. I mean, we had in one of the sessions we were talking about the avatar. We always unpacking the avatar. And one of the mastermind moments that came in this is, are you your avatar's avatar? So, yeah. So, are you the kind of person that they want to sell to them?
Yeah.
So, and then I got people thinking and how that's where the transformation comes into it. Through those discussions, it's very focused. So through those discussions, you dig deep, and there's some amazing sort of learnings that come out of it, and people are then eager to go away and test. And what we're going to do, as you're saying, what you're saying is test and then embed.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it, Pat. All right, who's got questions for Pat? Yep, Diane.
You said weekly, so how long is the session? How long does it run for?
There are sessions that we've been doing where they've been running for an hour to an hour and a half.
Okay. And time?
I have been running them on Thursday evenings at 7 p.m.
Okay. Thank you.
Get the day out of the way.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yep. More questions? Yep. Joanne.
Pat, I might have been asleep. Did you say how much it was?
Yes. It's always coming up.
No, it's in there. It's $25 a week.
$25.
All right. Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah. Thank you.
I found that for those who are new beginners or at the beginning of their journey, they feel more comfortable if they know, if they can break it down into how much it's going to cost them at that per week.
Yep, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Chris,
Chris.
Pat, thanks for that. That's fascinating. The question I have is, do you have like a theme each week, or do you?
What we did in the very first session was there was like an intro session, but then we collected the names of quite a few books, and then we used the name of wheels, or the wheel of names. We use the wheel of names and the name code. So the book can take some time to go through. I mean, we'd expect people to read a whole book in a fortnight or something like that. We break that down into sections because that's how life, that's how it works. So yeah, it can take the book can take it can be a couple of weeks, or it can be a couple of months, because it's the content that's the benefit, not the size.
Okay, great, thanks.
Excellent. Any more questions? Yep, Faith.
I just had a comment. I understood what you said, Pat, when you said, does that particular type of person want to buy from you or get that service from you? So whether or not it's about your, whether you are that suitable person, like even if you're a consultant, your client will choose you for specific things, and you want that client for specific reasons so that you can work together in a better relationship. So that's what I understood. Thank you. That was really interesting.
Excellent. I was speaking to Renee Laughlin last year, at the end of last year. So she's a social media guru with Resolute Social. And we were talking about referrals, right? Going out, it's easy to come out networking and always be on that line. Pretty much anything out at networking, except here with me, will say, it's about referrals. Don't sell to the group, sell through the group. Do they understand so that they can pass you on a referral? Now, having run networking groups for over 11 years, I can honestly say the referral is one of the hardest things to get, because I watch people turn up every single week, do all the right things, but I don't see them get referrals every single week, which means that there's some component that's missing. What was interesting is Renee was saying something and she said, oh yes, and then I must concentrate on referrals, like in the one-to-ones, is talk to them about, referral partnerships. And I said, have a look at the person that you're talking to. We see if perhaps they could be a client. We tend to miss that the avatar that we're after for referrals is actually the client as well. And until someone's tested you out as a client, it's harder for them to describe heading forward the other way. But they can do the same thing, that they could be looking in regards to, I think, Pat, I'll get to you in a second. I think that's what you were saying in regards to, we might have our avatar, but are we our avatar's avatar as well? Like they might be our perfect client. Are we actually their perfect client?
Exactly.
Sometimes,
or their perfect seller. Yeah.
Or something like that as well. What were you going to say, Pat?
Look, I was saying, have you got a couple of spare couple of minutes? Because I want to share something with everybody. It's right at this time of year, but do I have access to share screen?
Yeah, you do.
Okay. All right. This is something I shared in a network before Christmas, and I'm about to present today, part of a presentation. But this is something you can have a look. You just have to scribble down and do whatever. But this is an exercise because we're talking about networking and going out your networks for 2024. I'll explain this to you. It's a matrix. So in the top corner, you've got personal, professional, and then bottom, you've got your business and your business, no business. And I'm talking about 2 degrees of separation, thinking about your networks out there, because your networks aren't necessarily, like what we're doing right now. This is just like an overview, but when I did it, people started to put names to these different bits and ended up in a real good discussion. But look at this, in top corner, where are your personal networks? Because you could be your friends, it could be your family, it could be your old school friends. When I've got those 2 asterisks in the top corner, it turns out that I've got some very close connections with the BBC that I didn't even, that I just dismissed. But when I did this exercise, so that's there. And then looked in the actual professional networks, your face-to-face networks, the online networks. It gives you a chop, once you write it down, gives you the opportunity to start thinking, what's the value of these and what am I doing, etc. And do I need to be doing? So me, you got your social media networks, and my focus is on LinkedIn more than it is on Facebook. For me, I've got councils, I've got chambers accountants, so I'm thinking up there who my networks are. This is just a quick one. Then coming back down into the bottom corner at this side, what kind of organizations or business, types I've got relationships with. So I've got aged care clients. I've got not just Jewish, Indian, Syrian, I've got a whole mixture of multicultural clients, motorcycling sport, neighborhood houses, lines, so the kinds of groupings that you've got relationships with. And then looking at the no relationships, the ones that you want to have relationships with, sports clubs in general. I've got accountants in twice because they're important to me. Business efficiency, looking for efficiency. So I just want to show you this. It's quite, it's quite rudimentary, but actually when you start, it's all about the process of thinking. And when you start unpacking that, this is step 1. Once you start unpacking that, you get a better idea. You start thinking, so what do I want to do? What are my objectives this year? And how can I use my networks?
Nice. Yeah, excellent. Thank you, Pat. Right, Anshi's screen. If anyone's got any more questions just before the end, now's your chance to ask her in regards to your screen. I think that's given us a lot to think about now. One of those moments of, ooh.
Are you your avatar's avatar?
Yeah. Are you your avatar's avatar? Now, there's a question to really think about. Are you your avatar's avatar? All right, Dr. Chris.
Yes, thanks for sharing that, Pat. And it what occurs to me is that the last couple of years I've been, seduced by the whole notion of the whole LinkedIn thing with global this and worldwide that. And towards the end of last year, I've switched that around to going, and I've kind of ignored local. And I noticed from your diagram there that there's quite a lot of it's quite a local focus. I mean, there's the global as well, but it was interesting to see the local folks like chambers of commerce, etc. And I think particularly after the pandemic and the whole online thing, I think people are really craving that local business community, sense of community in local areas. So yeah, it's an interesting observation that you make there, and so I'm kind of focusing on a lot of local stuff this year to count, because the whole global thing, I think it's often fraud. People say, oh yes, you can have 58 million connections and in 5 minutes and make $1 squillion, but in fact it doesn't work. And I think it's come back to that really personal and personable relationship factor that's really important for any kind of business.
Yep, absolutely. Even I've joined the Chamber of Commerce at the end of last year. I've joined the Dalby Chamber of Commerce, which is an hour out of town, and they have monthly networking meetings. And then the local one here, which they don't have networking meetings, so I'm yet to find out more about that. But the out of town one, in my effort, knowing that it's monthly, it's like I've turned up. I'm so used to just turning up and this is who I am and talking and getting known. But then to turn up to a whole brand new group face to face, and then I'm left going, oh yeah, this is going to take a little while to get known because I'm only going to see them once a month. I went to the AGM meeting afterwards, like about a week or two afterwards, for the purpose of, well, I'll get known faster before the next networking meeting. I've now been put on the board because I turned up. But that means now instead of driving out 12 times to Dalby this year, I'll drive out 24 times. But it's amazing just turning up and then them going, I know, let's just put her on the board and be done with it. And someone said, I'll second that. And I'm thinking, I don't even know what's going on. I turned up to the next face-to-face meeting and suddenly I'm known by the majority of everybody. I don't know who they are yet. So it's amazing how just that small bit of volunteer work of just saying, all right, yeah, I'm happy to hand out the badges at the next, meeting, so that then, to help with that sort of volunteer stuff, how suddenly you get known a lot. I know with the Chamber of Commerce, when it comes to the Chamber of Commerce's, I have this general idea that people come out networking, but they don't truly know what they're doing. They know that they have to go out and speak, but they don't truly know what they're doing. So it really comes down to follow up. And when it comes to the Chamber of Commerce, you have to follow up because people don't. Collect their cards, collect their contact information, write to them and say, it was a great meeting. You can't wait to see you at the next meeting, right? And people will say, yeah, no, I follow up all the time. You'll find you can wait a week. They don't. But if you do it, that also helps you get remembered before the next meeting as well. And since you've already written once, you can write beforehand of the next meeting and say, I hope to see you at the meeting later this week. And see if you can help drag those same people back out so you get to see the same people and meet the new layer of people as you head out as well. Pat, you've got your hand up?
Yeah. It's about the Chambers of Commerce and other. Yeah, that's right. I've been fortunate with one chamber to actually have been a judge for the Business Awards twice, and it's a great market research opportunity.
Nice. Yeah, there you go. Excellent. Well done. Thank you so much, Pat. Yes, so something to look into too. And that's true. The chambers have business awards. They need those that participate to be nominated, those who do the judging, those that help out. So there's a lot of opportunity to get known, and it's not a huge amount of extra work. It's just you're already networking with them anyway. Like it's kind of less in the networking work because you're doing this other work, your name gets filtered out and noticed anyway. Dr. Chris.
Yeah, just to follow up from that, the whole networking thing and the Chambers of Commerce. I mean, the other reason to do it is one I joined recently, well, towards the end of last year. The Small Business Commissioner, Dominique Lamb, was speaking, and she was brilliant. And she's like this powerhouse of woman. She's fantastic. And so I went up and had a chat to her. And in that context, you can do that, but trying to have a chat to her through formal channels would be impossible, I would imagine. So again, another good reason to go and have a chat to people like that who are, you know, guest speaking, and so you know them, they get to know you as well.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you, Pat, for being our speaker today. I knew you wouldn't disappoint. Like I said, it wasn't my plan. It was just something that you said, and I thought, actually, that's a really great opportunity. You can give us a follow on from there as well. And thank you, everyone, for participating and asking questions.